I got to tell you, I cannot stop thinking about this John Cena fella.
Wow.
I can't get him off my mind.
I don't think
this guy's interesting.
Many people in this country haven't been able to get John Cena out of their mind, Brett, since he appeared on the scene in the early 2000s. But now, I mean,
I'm late to the game, but there was three things in particular, a triumvirate of events that has made John Cena just central in my brain. There was coming on stage at the Oscars naked, right? Hollywood's biggest night. He goes all in. He does his naked gag and pulled it off. This is what we'll find out about John Cena. On paper, every movie he's been in, every gag he's done, I would say, I don't know if that's going to work. And then that guy gives it everything he's got, and he makes it work. Naked on stage at the Oscars.
Yeah.
That hilarious viral video where he referenced Behind the Green Door, the like high art porno movie, in what was otherwise a like Vanity Fair puff piece video, and everyone was kind of like shaking their head, like sort of confused because Cena went off script. And then he is starring in the biggest streaming release of the week, or the last 2 weeks, Ricky Stenicki, which we're going to talk about, which we both watched. So all of this is coming together, and I was like, Cena is happening.
Yeah.
We can't deny that Cena is happening.
No.
The guy is interesting, but what is he up to? What's the vision? What is happening with this guy? How does he fit into the history of Hollywood? What kind of role is he playing? What is the future of Cena? Because the ambition is high right now. So, Joe, what do you think the deal is with John Cena? Where do we start when we're figuring out this guy?
I think the first thing you have to know about Cena is something that is instantly communicated to you the second you're introduced to Cena in any capacity, which is the man, for all accounts, and I tried to ding him all week, this is an authentic guy. I'm afraid that this man, John Cena, is a version of as advertised, and he's affable whether he's playing the heel in a WWE fight all the way 15 years later to Ricky Stenicki in a broad comedy, just giving 110%. He isn't embarrassed to be himself. I don't know why he would be. He's a fit gentleman, but he's always been abundantly not afraid to be himself, constantly doubling down on his charisma and his persona, and it has yielded in a massive movie career.
Let's break down the filmography. I've been going through the filmography this week, and he starts out in 2006 with The Marine, which is a wild movie. Did you watch The Marine?
I did watch The Marine.
The Marine, to me, I didn't realize they remade The Room as a military movie with John Cena. This movie plays like The Room. It is low budget as all hell. It's crazy. From shot to shot, you have no idea what's going to happen. The Marine is wild. I would recommend watching it. I had a blast watching The Marine. Produced by WWE.
Can I speak on like kind of how WWE and John Cena got to this moment of making a movie?
Please
just
do.
like really quickly.
Yeah.
It speaks to the marketing and merchandising power of John Cena that WWE decided, as instead of another t-shirt or instead of another belt to sell, now we're going to put John in movies and have him promote those on air during WWE. And that's how we are going to have this little WWE film imprint, which they did. And they made some films. But Cena is actually very interesting in the WWE lore. First of all, he's one of the greats. Nobody would deny it. And he's great because he combines different elements of sort of different characters in the past, from like your Undertaker, your Ric Flairs, your Hulk Hogan's, but he sort of blended them all up and was the right man for the job at WWE at the right time. He started as just like a handsome, sort of boring guy. And then one time, right when Cena's contract was ending, they thought they were going to get rid of Cena. But one of the McMahons, Stephanie McMahon, was on a bus with the tour, and they were going to a show that week, and all the WWE guys were on the bus. And Cena started freestyle rapping. Cena's a massive hip-hop guy.
It's one of his things.
Massive hip-hop guy. Freestyle rapped. Everyone lost their mind.
His flow is I watched a lot of raps too. His flow is very much like I've seen 8 Mile 100 times. His flow is very Eminem. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, look at any picture of John Cena at this time.
Yeah.
2000 period. He looks silly / what your cousin looked like in the driveway. He's a huge hip hop guy. Anyway, he was rapping, and then Stephanie said, "Okay, can you rap about this tuna sandwich in my hand?" And Cena took off and rapped about that perfectly. And she said, "You're ready for prime time." He started doing that. He became his first sort of iteration, which was Dr. Thugatronic. Is that what that was?
I guess, yeah. Look, the Cena experience, what you're describing...
Doctor of Thugonomics.
What you're describing is the Cena experience. It's the experience that I had, that I think Hollywood is having, that everyone is having, which is the first thing you see is a big muscle guy. You see a big muscle guy.
That's the first thing he is.
With
a muscle guy.
With an almost like Buster Keaton level of like non-expressiveness. There is like the first experience is stone-faced muscle guy. The more you watch Cena, though, then you start to see, there's a little twinkle in his eye. There's like pathos here. And it seems like that's what happened to him in his wrestling career. That's what happened to him in his movie career, because the Marine is clearly like Hollywood and the WWE don't know. They're just like, let's do a military thing where he's a tough military guy.
He was he had the hip hop affect, but he also, at this time, 2006, second term Bush was Mr. Military, and the Marine was part of that. And the Marine was at the tail end of WWE's ruthless aggression era. We're done with TV 14. It's time for PG. And Cena was the guy that carried that ball. How is WWE going to be PG and still be tough and cool and amazing or whatever? And Cena was the man for the mission. He, because he embodies the traits that you were just talking about, Brett.
Well, and this explains, I was like looking at his movie career, and there's a big, weird dry spell after the Marine, all the way up to 2015, really like a decade dry spell in terms of his movies. Like he's
in the ring, brother.
That's why he's doing wrestling.
He's on TV.
Because the movies are so random. There is 12 Rounds, which is a Rennie Harlan late career like thing. There is Legendary, which is like a feel-good family movie. He was in Fred the movie, which was like one of those YouTube influencer movies.
All three of them, bro.
Yeah, which
played Fred's dad.
They tried to do that. So he's like and that's all the way up to 2015. There's like a 10-year dry spell. Then like the big breakout was his role in Trainwreck. And everybody was like, John Cena, A, wants to do comedy, and B, he can hang. Like he can whatever you think of Trainwreck, he is on par with everybody else in that movie in terms of the comic beats and comic timing.
Easily.
Whatever you think about that movie. And this is now kind of the defining trait, I think, of John Cena now, is that he has been in, like, at best above average movies, mostly kind of average, below average movies, but in everything he is in, including the movie we're going to talk about tonight, Ricky Stenicki, he is, if not the best part of it, at the top of the movie.
He's
been stealing movies
all the 2015
for the last,
comedies.
Yes, for the last 10 years he's been stealing movies.
He steals that movie. He steals Sisters with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, and then he's in a third comedy.
Blockers.
Oh, he's in Daddy's Home.
Blockers, Daddy's Home. Well, Daddy's Home, he was so good. He had a cameo in the first one, and then they gave him a larger role in the second one. So he is a guy who is clearly working hard, not just on camera, but behind the scenes. He is endearing himself to comedic filmmakers, and he is really rising the ranks in Hollywood. I mean, in addition to that, he's doing he did 2 Fast and the Furiouses, which I know you watched. Maybe his biggest role so far has been the Suicide Squad, because then that led to the Peacemaker TV series, and that's kind of a dark comedy thing. And then now this past week, Ricky Stenicki. Also, the Barbie cameo was a big sign that he had like made it. Like the Barbie cameo was like, we need like an instantly recognizable guy for this mermaid character, and the fact that they picked him is really like a sign that he is like, now he's a brand, he's a presence, not just in wrestling but in Hollywood.
In Hollywood, it's the same thing that happened at WWE. Everyone was like, I don't know if you're going to make it. I don't think that you have the stuff. Maybe we'll try a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But Cena's like enduring, like sort of lovability comes through time and time again. Audiences love him, and he is incredibly endearing. And I do respect his work ethic, because Brett, in 2015, when these comedies happen, it's not because he was sitting around on his butt. He was the biggest wrestler in the world, and he got hurt in a huge fight. And what's he do? First of all, he trains and gets back into the ring ASAP, but he also bangs out 3 comedies just to like have that ready to rock and roll in 2015.
The guy absolutely has chops. And in terms of finding one of my big like riddles that I was trying to solve this week was, what is the parallel or analog for Cena? Who is Cena? John Cena is this generation's blank. And I played around with a couple things because it's tough because he's still sort of trying out different things. It seems to me Ricky Stenicki is not this. Maybe a little, but it seems to me like action comedy is like his lane he's trying to find. And he definitely has like some Jackie Chan, but he's more Buster Keaton than Jackie Chan. He's a little more like of a flatter affect. He has some Jim Carrey, like truly,
he has some Jim Carrey.
Truly has, like, that might sound crazy, but go watch these John Cena movies. He's getting, like in Ricky Stenicki, he's getting what would have been Jim Carrey roles, 20 years ago. I think though the best parallel is he is Melissa McCarthy. He is that, like, because there is no other actor I can think of that is getting like truly like big character meaty comedic roles, not like comedy drama, not like straight person in a comedy, not like Jim Halpert looked to camera, oh boy that's awkward, I looked away from camera, but he is the master of a dying art, as is Melissa McCarthy, which is like big, broad comedic roles in big, broad comedies. Yeah. I can't think of anybody else who's doing it, but I feel like, as we'll talk about with Ricky Stenicki, I feel like that is the lane he's finding with sort of an action bent to it. But action comedy, Melissa McCarthy seems to be where John Cena's going. And honestly, I say keep going, John. I love it. I love what I'm seeing, and I hope you get better scripts sent your way.